Great, thank you. I am delighted to be coming back after lunch with what I hope will be a really inspiring and enlightening session for you. This morning we heard people talking about young people and the importance of the future talent coming through, and the how we need to work with people for the the skills for you guys to be able to grow your businesses. What I really wanted to do was to actually hear from the young people. We so often talk about young people. We talked this morning about the city. Is our city family friendly, and what does it need for young people? Well, the best people to ask are the young people, and they so seldom actually get the platform. And so my aim from today is to inspire everybody in the room and everybody that's going to be watching this to really take seriously the voices of young people and to work out how they can incorporate young people into their businesses at this stage, so that we can all have a collective responsibility for bridging those skill gaps and inspiring young people for the future. So I'm Kate Vokes, I'm from Bruntwood, and I'm hopefully not going to be saying very much after my introduction, and I'm going to let my fabulous panel introduce themselves. So,
thank you. I'm Adam Farricker, I'm the CEO of Hideout YouthZone in Gorton, Manchester.
I'm Aaliyah, and I'm 15 and I go to Hideout.
I'm Shanae, I'm 16 and I go to Hideout.
So it probably makes sense, many of you might not know what Hideout is, so just to talk a little bit about what Hideout is from your perspective, and what you've, sort of favourite bits, what you've gained from your relationship with it.
So Hideout is a youth zone, it's in Gorton, and basically anyone can go there from like 18 to 19 or 25 with additional needs. It's split up into three. Juniors, which is 8 to 12, I think. Mm-hmm. Seniors, 13 to 19, and then Sunday Club, which is for anyone with additional needs. And basically we just go there and do lots of different activities and stuff, like cooking, drama, media, music sessions, and they're all like really good. And every time you go there, like you always, it is the same, like you know what you're going there to do, but it's always something different about it all the time. So yeah, I've done a lot of stuff with them. I've learnt how to play the bass guitar. I hosted a festival, which the stage was Bruntwood, and that was in July last year. Done trips to like Madlow, did a advert for New Balance. Hosted the Patrons Evening, where we put on a show for all of the people who fund Hideout, and yeah.
A little flavour.
I feel like Hideout brings out many opportunities. So with me, I didn't know much about music when I started, and gradually I learned about how to DJ, how to produce music, how to like set up my own studio if I wanted to, how to improve my singing, and I feel like Hideout just brings out confidence in everyone.
Yeah, like I've made so many friends at Hideout. Like, I've spoke to people who I would have never spoke before. Like me and Shanae, we go to the same school, but we never actually spoke or anything before we went to Hideout, and now we are close friends. And yeah, it's just me. I've been able to do stuff that I actually would have never ever done before. Like I learned how to climb, and now I do climbing club, and I help in the junior sessions with young leaders, and I'm getting a qualification for that. Got a qualification in hairdressing, so yeah, it's helped me do a lot of things.
I couldn't have said it.
Yes, brilliant. These two are going to work in sales. So yeah,
definitely. As the girl said, we're in a nutshell, we're a youth work charity. We operate out of a state-of-the-art youth facility, Youth Zone, based in Gorton, Manchester. We actually opened in the peak of the pandemic in September 2020. We focused very quickly. We were inspired by the young people and their resilience to just focus on what we could do rather than what we couldn't do. And we've now got over 4,000 members in such a short space of time, ranging, as they said, from 8 to 19-year-olds up to 25 for those with additional needs, including young carers, looked after children and care leavers. So yeah, there's over 20 activities every night, most of them led by young people. And our primary aim really is to give children and young people somewhere safe to go, something positive to do and someone trusted to talk to. That is the power of youth work. I was talking earlier to a colleague about the fact that youth services have had the heart ripped out of it for the last decade, last 10 years. And we're trying to change that. We're trying to change the narrative of the importance of youth services, but also the narrative around stereotypes and stigma around young people from disadvantaged communities, and taking a strength-based approach to supporting young people, not just focusing on poverty rates and crime and youth violence and the stuff that you hear in the media, but the strengths of young people and their aspirations and their potential, just by giving them an opportunity, watching them shine. And you know, we get great opportunities like coming here today to speak to you guys, and hopefully those opportunities will continue. So yeah, that's in a nutshell what we're trying to achieve, and we're doing a good job so far, I think.
We were talking this morning about Manchester being a great place to grow up. Has that been your experience with Manchester and Gorton? I'd just be interested to know whether do you feel very much part of your community within Gorton, and presumably the Hideout has helped strengthen that. Do you feel part of the bigger, wider city community as well?
Well, I only moved to Manchester 5 years ago. I didn't used to live here before, but when I first moved here, and I started to make friends and stuff at school, and I got told like all the bad and horrible stuff that happened in Gorton, like how unfortunate it is for me that I ended up moving to Gorton, blah blah blah. And like I did, and well, I didn't feel connected to the place. I didn't like it at all. I really hated it. But then the Youth Zone opened, and then I was really excited to go to there, and then it actually made me like Manchester more, and know what Manchester's about, and just love living in the city.
For me, I've lived in Ardwick since obviously I've been born, and I feel like obviously we used to play out and we used to do stuff with groups of people, like youth work, but it wasn't that connected until Hideout came. And I feel like with Hideout, everyone comes together no matter who you are or what you're doing in life. And I just think it's a very important part of Manchester, to be honest. Youth work is all together.
I mean, Manchester is such a collaborative partnership city where people, the business community and the education and health, and we do work well together. What role do you think that Hideout plays in that, Adam?
Yeah, I think, as you said, Manchester's got a huge cultural history. It's a thriving city. The economy is the fastest growing economy outside of London, and I feel sometimes as that economy grows, so does the gap sometimes between those who benefit from that growth and the people that don't benefit the most or benefit the least, which is primarily children and young people from disadvantaged communities. And what we're trying to do is act like a beacon in our community for the young people we work with, to connect the culture, the arts, the business, the sports, everything that everybody's proud to be part of in Manchester or wants to feel part of, for the future, the present and the past, to create those opportunities to bring young people together. So through the connections we have with the local authority, through the businesses and the patrons that support us, it's very much about creating pathways and opportunities for young people to be empowered and go on to live independent, successful lives in the future, rather than creating dependence on Hideout YouthZone. That's the opposite to what we want to do, and I'm sure the girls, they've already hinted at that now, but would say the same, that we're trying to give them all the skills and the attributes they need to go on and be successful independently. But we do need that support and those opportunities. It's not just financial support. We talk about this all the time. Bruntwood's was our first founder patron, which is massively important in terms of the funding we need to do our core work. But what's even more important is the relationship that we have with Bruntwood and the team, because of the opportunities that creates for our young people, throughout the whole business, throughout the community, through the values that you share, that they're aligned to us. And it's the same with all the businesses that we work with, really. Because these children and young people, sometimes they don't even understand what opportunities there are available to them in Manchester. They don't understand what different career opportunities there are. So just by coming to an event like this and having a conversation with you guys, it might spark an interest in a particular career or a particular work environment for them that they never knew existed or wouldn't be for them. So I think we can do more. I think we're doing a great job of that already, but there's a lot more to be done over the next 10, 20 years.
There's a lot, you know, every time you open up your social media or you're looking at the news, there's all sorts of doom and gloom at a massive scale, isn't there, with war and COVID and Brexit and climate and all of the inequalities and in the world. What sort of barriers do you feel face, if any, do you guys feel that you face moving into that next stage of life?
I think it's just like opportunities and like money and stuff, because I'm not rich, my parents are not rich, so I feel like it is always harder for, you know, people who are working class to go out there and, you know, get good jobs, get good houses, you know, have a good life, like moving up to adulthood, because I feel like it is a cycle, because if your parents aren't rich and, you know, you're not, it's going to be harder for you to be able to get out there in the world, and the same thing happens with your children. It goes over and over again. But I feel like Hideout kind of breaks that cycle, kind of, and it helps me to get out there in the world and, you know, take opportunities.
Yeah, similarly to what earlier said, Hideout does break the cycle, because I feel like without it we wouldn't understand what opportunities we've got, and like we wouldn't know, like we'd probably be out on the streets, on the playgrounds, we wouldn't like think about what we were going to do next in life, and so yeah, Hideout does break it.
The research that says that, you know, experience and role models are absolutely critical in people's lives. You can go, fortunately you guys go to a good, you know, you've got a good school that you're going to. Lots of young people haven't, or they haven't necessarily got the role models at home. Who are the people that inspire you and have become your role models in life?
I have at Hideout my favourite youth worker, Jarrell. He helped me so much. He's taught me so much stuff, and oh wait, no, I don't know why, but my eyes are tearing up because he's leaving. He's leaving soon, and I'm really gonna miss him. But yeah.
Yeah, same. He literally, like I said before, taught me everything I knew about music and how to like sort of get into it and build a career from it, and like, yeah.
Anyone else?
It's brilliant. That, I mean, that your words don't, you know,
Yeah.
you say that. We need to make sure that he comes back and watches this, doesn't he? But the power of having the right people in people's lives at the right time to be able to have an impact. And
I think the importance of youth workers as role models compared to maybe some other adults that are in children, young people's lives, is that for a lot of young people, a youth worker is the first time they've chose to have a relationship with an adult, because it's completely voluntary engagement. The girls can choose as and when they want to stop, when they want to start engaging with us. It's all voluntary engagement, and the fact that they come back day in, day out, and they want to work with us shows that we're doing good work. You know, you don't choose who your teachers are. No offence, Mr. Walker. You don't choose who your teachers are. You don't choose who your mum, your dad, your carers are. You know, a lot of adults in your life, your doctor, whatever that might be. They're enforced on you, and I think that's the difference with youth work to any other profession, is that it's completely voluntary engagement, and that trusting relationship is so important. And for me, that was what changed my life. It was a youth worker that changed my life around when I was a young person.
I'm sorry.
You're all right. So that's why I'm so passionate about youth work. That's why I come back to the place where I grew up, in the same area as the Youth Zone. Had a long career going into different roles within Manchester City Council. I was head of youth services there, but when this opportunity come back, I knew what the impact, I knew what the need was locally, but I knew the impact of this type of provision was going to have, not just on Gorton and the surrounding areas, but the whole of Manchester. So yeah, it's great to hear that the girls are identifying that same kind of process with what they're doing at Hideout YouthZone as well. And
you guys are a really, really interesting, it's a really challenging stage of life, isn't it? You're about to leave school this year. Well, you're going to be doing exams, which a lot of people haven't been doing for a couple of years, but you're going to be doing exams and then moving on to college. The support network around you and that transition into adulthood. You know, we're talking to people today and they're saying, oh, you've got some kids coming. I'm like, no, I haven't got kids. You want to meet these two. You know, we've got incredible young people who it's partly our responsibility to help you in that transition into making spaces like this welcoming for young people. What would you be asking the world of, if you could, in terms of you know, that help to transition you through this next stage of life?
I think to just like give us a chance, because I feel like people think of teenagers, oh, they're just kids, like they don't know what they're doing, but you know, we actually do have loads of ideas and stuff, and we know what we want. It's just sometimes just not knowing how to get there. So just for people to listen and actually talk to us and stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like when, like, for example, when it comes to applying for a job, it'll be harder as a person that's just leaving high school, because they'll think you're not able to do the job and that you're just a kid, like you said. But if they were able to like see us for who we are and like understand that we're not just kids, but we're entering adulthood and like we're gonna be like you guys one day, it would be completely different.
I think the other thing for me is that you guys are going to be people's employees, but potentially, or employers, but also customers. And I think that's the thing, you know, in terms of developing products, particularly we've been talking a lot about the digital community, and you guys have grown up with tech. You don't even necessarily think of it as being, it's just part of your, you know, it's just part of your life. You said you'd done something with, was it New Balance, an advert. Do you think there's an opportunity for young people to get more involved, not just in talking about this being a one-way thing of talent and skills, but it actually, you guys and the contribution you can make to help shape the future of whether it's work spaces and workplaces, or whether it's products for the, you know, that you'll be buying with your own money when you move into the workplace. When you worked with, what was it that you did with New Balance?
It was an advert, so we got driven to set by some of the youth workers. Then they got us all like dressed up in all New Balance clothes and shoes and stuff, and then we filmed the advert with Raheem Sterling.
Oh, cool.
Raheem Sterling changed his sponsorship from Nike to New Balance.
Right.
And he's just set up a foundation, the Raheem Sterling Foundation. He's passionate about supporting young people from disadvantaged communities, but particularly young people of colour from disadvantaged communities, to tackle the inequalities that they face. So when his sponsorship changed to New Balance, he wanted to come and use authentic, real people from a community that was close to his heart, obviously as a Man City player. So yeah, he come and worked with the young people to not just to kind of highlight the brand, but to give the opportunities to local young people rather than going to an agency, or, you know, how you would usually get young people involved in those kind of activities.
So do you think there are potential opportunities for businesses to work with, whether with Hideout, to talk about products and talk about the way that they're developing their business as well?
Because I think you can tell when like a company tries to target their things towards young people, but they do it really badly. You can tell that they didn't actually talk to any young person about it. So I think if they want to do something like that, they should, you know, come to the Youth Zone or any Youth Zone, actually talk to young people, find out their ideas and stuff, and then the products will probably be better and more people will actually buy them.
Yeah, because sometimes the products are a bit childish for our ages, and like if they were to come and talk to us, it would give them a better understanding of what kids that like us want and what they should do for future products.
You were saying earlier, weren't you, that was it just before dinner you had the CEO of UA92 talking about their offer. They actually come in and did some branding and marketing workshops with our young people last year, because their target audience is our young people from communities like where we work. So they come in with initial concepts and ideas of their branding, got ripped to shreds by our young people. And that's what they wanted. They wanted to know that it was really going to appeal and reach to the young people they were trying to serve. And, you know, they honoured that, they changed the branding and they come back and showed that. And maybe if you've seen some of that today, that was shaped and influenced by the young people from Hideout. So there's loads of opportunities to do stuff like that. And it's not just about creating opportunities and supporting young people at Hideout, but it makes business sense. It's going to benefit your businesses as well. It's going to improve standards where you work.
So how do you make sure that happens in Hideout in terms of the leadership and the way that you run the organisation?
I think we have, so in terms of our funding model, it's a three-way partnership between the local authority, the local community and the business sector, the private sector in Manchester. So we have 28 founder patrons who support us financially, but as I said earlier, it's the most important thing is that we have a relationship with those organisations. They regularly come into the youth zone, they deliver workshops, their staff come in and do volunteering days, volunteering weeks. They create opportunities within the workplace, whether it's live challenges or live briefs for young people to go in and work with them. And I think that's part of my role, is to keep raising the profile of Hideout, celebrating the potential and the aspirations of the young people we work with, and make sure that everybody recognises it's all our responsibility as part of the heart of being part of Manchester. If we're going to work here and live here, you know, we're all proud to call ourselves Mancunians, whether we're adopted, we work here or we live here, but it's all our responsibility to make sure that the future success of the city is sustainable and carries on for 10, 20, 30 years, and we can only do that by investing in these amazing young people now and being proactive about that. You know, these young women maybe haven't realised yet the inequalities that they're probably going to face. They will have faced some inequalities already. We were talking earlier, weren't we, about the fact that they're going to be sitting their GCSEs in May, and young girls across the city, across the country, will outperform young men at this stage. Within 3-4 years, you look at the gender pay gap from the age of 16 to 21, what's going on there. So we can't wait for young people to come to us as employers. We need to proactively be looking for them and reaching out to them. And you know, the young people we work with and these two young women now would be an asset to any company and add value to any company in the city. So that's my responsibility to keep raising the awareness of that and make sure that we create opportunities for people like yourselves as well to engage and celebrate these young people.
So do you feel you've got the opportunity at Hideout to help shape the offer there and what's happening? And
yeah, because they always talk to us and ask us, you know, what we like, what we didn't like, so that they can, you know, act on that and improve it and change it, and I think that's really good.
Yeah, and they also bring people in to talk about stuff. So I remember, I think it was last week, they did something where it was a project, and it was a 4-week project, and at the end of it we'll be able to get a job at, like, for example, KFC or something, and yeah, it was really good.
so in terms of jobs and future, I've seen you in action. Like I know what you got. Share with the audience what it is that you want to do.
So I want to work in TV and media. So whether that's like becoming an actor or a TV presenter or like a journalist, something like that. So yeah, at Hideout, the first time I hosted was on the Bruntwood stage in July, and I was so nervous because it was my first time ever hosting, because I've acted and stuff before but never hosted, and yeah, it was really fun. It was a massive audience, and it was best day. And then in September we had the patrons event that I spoke about, and yeah, that was the second time hosting, really fun. And then after that we had the BBC and companies like that regularly come in to film news round or the news or something and ask us questions and stuff, so I'd like to speak to those people. And yeah, it's really interesting to see what people who actually work in that sector do. Yeah, it's good.
I'm not sure what I want to do when I'm older, to be honest. I've got so many pathways going down for me, whether it's music or dancing, acting, so it's really about what comes first, to be honest.
And I think most young people are, well, not even just young people, I think even lots of people who are further in their careers don't know exactly what it is that they want to do. And I think that, you know, we've all got a responsibility to help share and inspire our own stories. And I'm really grateful to you guys for coming in and doing this today. I think it's both, hopefully it's a good opportunity for you to practice your skills, but the most important thing for me is to showcase the voices of young people and hopefully inspire businesses to get involved with Hideout, to bring young people into your businesses early on, so that this isn't, as I say, it's not a one-way. This isn't about what businesses can do for young people. For me, it's as much about what young people can do. It's Adam's birthday today, so we're especially grateful to Adam for joining us today. Do we have time for questions? Does anybody have any questions?
Yes.
So my daughter's actually one of your junior members.
Hey.
We drive down High Road pretty much every day, so as we were building this amazing building, we didn't know what it was at first.
I thought nobody did, yeah.
But it massively helped her transition between what was her old primary school to a new, and she found skills that she had no idea that she had. It boosted her confidence hugely. I just wondered how you go about reaching children in the different communities and how you promote yourselves to encourage them to take part.
So initially, because we opened in the middle of the pandemic, we couldn't bring young people in the building, so we had an amazing facility that just cost £7 million to build and couldn't actually get young people in. So for the first few months we were doing what we call outreach, street work. So we were going into every local community to raise awareness, make sure everyone was aware of what we were doing and what we were, because the other feedback was we've seen this amazing building getting built, we don't know what it is. And then we continue to go into schools, so we're going to all the primary schools locally. There's 7 high schools, 2 schools for children with special educational needs. We have close working relationships with all of them. For the first year, all those local high schools paid for pupils' memberships. It cost £5 a year to join, and 50p a visit. So yeah, we do a lot of promotion with our local partners, with the local high schools and the primary schools as well. But a lot of it's just organically through word of mouth and through, working with the community, being part of the community ourselves. But if you think we could be doing anything further or more, just let us know. We're always open to.
I think she's just a salesperson because she's brought 4 cousins along and she goes into cigarette chips and everything. You need to come with me, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
We're on a Wednesday. So I think the children do a really great job of self-promoting as well and talking about the benefits of going in. So I think they do a really great job for you as well as advocates, I think.
Thank you.
Emma?
Yeah, I can tell you now, by far, is probably one of the most engaging and powerful conversations I've heard in a very long time. So thanks, I'm sure everyone agrees with me. Thanks so much for taking the time to come here today. But you're inspirational, you're doing so many different things. So I was wondering if you're doing climbing or music, what's next? Is there something that you really want to learn, or what's the next skill that you're interested in doing?
I think I've done everything, Yeah, because I joined when it first opened because I live really, really close. So like you, I was always seeing it, wondering what it is like. Whenever I was walking home with my friends, we used to play guessing game every day, guessing what it is. And yeah, so then finally found out it was a youth zone, and because of the pandemic, we couldn't go into more than one activity per day, so we had to book onto one. So we started from the top of the list and went all the way down so that we made sure we did everything. So yeah, I think I've done everything, but yeah, I'm just excited to see what comes next.
Same, to be honest. I think I started off in media, worked my way down to the bottom during sports, but with sports I found out that I would be able to do a skiing thing and be able to become a ski instructor. Sorry, I lost my words then. Which I'm doing right now. So with that, I'll be able to get a qualification in becoming a skiing instructor, and I'll be able to go to Italy, which I'm going in 2 weeks.
A big priority for us this year now is the employability and enterprise offer. So we've just recruited an employability and enterprise worker in January. For the last 2 years, it's just been about getting young people in the building, building those relationships, them getting to know the youth workers, us getting to know them. But now we've got a big priority this year to try and support young people around it, not just on being an employee, but entrepreneurship as well, and enterprise. So, but doing that in a youth work way. So whether it's, we've got young people every week that come and bake cupcakes, how can we put an enterprise spin on that and look at how much it's costing to get the ingredients, how much can we sell those cupcakes for, but doing it in a fun way with juniors from the age of 8, 9, 10, so those entrepreneurial kind of inspirational thoughts are there from young ages right through. So we're being proactive as well, because there's a lot of provision in Manchester for young people when they fall out of the system. So, you know, you have what they call NEAT programs, young people who are not in education, employment or training. There's so much of that work going on in the city, but for me, we should be doing a lot more at an earlier age to prevent them even getting to that stage. And that's the focus of what we'll be doing at Hideout, so building that confidence, building those softer skills, so when they do get to the age of 16, we've got young women like Aaliyah and Sinead that know where they want to go or what they want to do. And if they don't, that's okay. They're still going into a positive destination after school, so that's a big focus for us this year.
Great. Well, thank you all so much for coming in. You guys have missed a couple of hours of school, but now you need to go back.
Can I just say as well, if anybody wants to come down and see what we do, you're more than welcome at any stage. I'm sure we'll be able to share my details, but if you do, honestly, you won't regret it if you have half an hour or an hour. Come and see the facility, meet some of the young people and come and hear what we do face to face. You're more than welcome anytime.